Hey guys, and welcome back to Pokemon Infinite Fusion. As always, I am DemonFire93, and last time we did a whole bunch of grinding. We're almost done with it. We've just got our 3 boys left here, and we've got the perfect place to go to do so. And you know, I am getting a little tired of having to come back constantly just for the fact that there's all these... Do I not have... You guys don't have, like, elixirs here? Or ethers? Or anything like that? Damn you. Well, never mind then. I'm not going all the way back to Kanto just to try and go to the right store that might have that. So we're just gonna go back in, and we're gonna deal with the fact that we have to mess around here in order to get it. Oh, we didn't heal. Alright, well, that's another thing, I guess. Perfect. Just great. Love it. So, sometimes I wonder if I have some like ADHD or something, because sometimes I forget, what is that? I mean, it's a Heracross Apom, but that is amazingly creepy as all hell. I forget some of the stuff that I'm doing, alright? I need to get like a brain scan or something, because it's just like, what the fuck is happening sometimes. But I was editing the previous session with I was talking about Dragon Ball Z. I never really got to the topic that I wanted to in that, so we're gonna go back to that topic, which is, you know, Sparking Zero. I beat it so fast, and it just... I mean, yeah, I get it, they have DLC now, so there's more characters to play as, more characters to unlock, but to beat it so quickly, they just didn't really put the time and effort into it, feels like, as much as for the previous games. And that was because, of course, that the previous Budokai Tenkaichi games, back then, you know, they were created, I think, just before the microtransaction boom and the DLC boom. This was on the Wii, where there were no such... I mean, that's at least where the last ones were on the Wii. That's where I had them on, because I remember sitting there, you know, you could actually do the Kamehameha sort of thing, right? And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's why you do it on the Wii. That's why you get it on the Wii, to actually fulfill your, you know, not like your childhood dreams of like doing the Kamehameha. You're doing it for real. Oh my gosh, right? So that was the whole like selling point for getting it on the Wii, and they worked. I got both Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3 on the Wii. Oh wow, you're gonna be dead to crunch. And the Wii did not have... I'm trying to remember. I don't think it had the ability for like those sort of microtransactions, DLC sort of things like that. So it worked out really well. So they had to put the game out completely the way that it would be. They couldn't just be like, oh yeah, we'll patch it later, or we'll fix something, or we'll create DLC with added characters. I miss those days, honestly, because that was a better time in gaming, honestly. I mean, I look at my Heroes of Might and Magic series, and they didn't have patches in the old games. They would have whole expansion packs that you would have to then buy and install that would change the game slightly. They would update things. But that was how they were done. And they were all almost like standalone things where it's like, hey, you can get these updated versions of them. You don't always... Sometimes you didn't need the original, but other times you did. And they would sell things like, here's the original, now you get the expansion that updates things and fixes some bugs that were in the game that we didn't quite know about. But they sold each one as its own fully fledged thing because They had to make sure that it was working properly. They couldn't just be like, just send it out, and if it's fucked, we'll fix it later. They didn't have that ability to fix it later. You can't fix it in post. You know, you gotta do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live, right? That's what they had to do. So we live in an age where they just, we gotta reach a deadline and throw the game out before it's ready. And they get complete and total trash. And I'm not saying that Sparking Zero was complete and total trash, but the fact that they just decided to skip an entire arc in the gameplay. I mean, like I said, I never played, or I never watched Dragon Ball Super, so I wouldn't have even known that there was a skipped arc, except for all the comments online about it. It's like, oh, there was the Tournament of Destruction between the Beerus and his brother from the other universe, I guess. Why does Dragon Ball have to have a multiverse too? Why does everything have to get into a multiverse thing? It's kind of dumb. But okay, sure. Dragon Ball gets a multiverse. That's how they give Goku Black. I get that. And oh boy, I will give Sparking Zero this. They may, I don't know anything about the Goku Black arc other than Goku Evil and Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku all go to the future to try and fix the timeline by beating Zamasu and Goku Black and blah 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 blah, whatever. That's cool and all. I got that. The greatest thing that Sparking Zero has done was their what if scenario where they made Gohan black. Because that just fucking fits more, like, fitting, that is a more fitting story, I think, than Goku Black. It's just like, oh yeah, we took Goku because he's the strongest, and I took over his body using the Super Dragon Balls, and blah 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 blah. Now I'm the greatest in the universe, and it's like, okay, I get that. That's the way they went with it. But for the fact that it's future Trunks, it's that arc is completely, or supposedly supposed to be like future Trunks' story. So for it to be a continuation of future Trunks' story, what is more fitting than having Gohan be there and be the one who got taken over? And then you have to face your, like, Trunks has to face his mentor, who is evil. Instead of, oh, Goku, who gives a shit? He's, like, I never met him in my timeline. I had to go back in time to another timeline to meet Goku. So I don't really care about Goku all that much, but Gohan, it's like, oh my gosh, he's my hero, he's my friend, and he betrayed me like this. That's a great story. But I'm not a writer for, you know, Dragon Ball. So I can't make those sorts of decisions. That's just like a great moment, I think, that the game did. But going back, it's just like none of the other Budokai Tenkaichi games. I mean, yeah, they would usually they started with the Raditz fight in Dragon Ball Z, and it would go all the way until a specific arc. I think Budokai 1 only went to the Cell Saga. I know that Budokai 2 went to the end of Buu. And, you know, there are different... I mean, I never really played Budokai 3 because it wasn't available on the GameCube. Maybe I did. But then when they did Budokai Tenkaichi and Tenkaichi 2 and Tenkaichi 3... you know, they would go through more details in more of the games. They would start, or more details from the story. They would start with the Raditz fight. You might have a random ass fight, because I think like a couple of them were like, hey, you're gonna play as Goku. It's like, okay, you follow Goku through his whole storyline. But then as the games got bigger and more elaborate, it was like, okay, you're gonna follow the Dragon Ball Z story. So, you know, oh, Krillin has a scene, like, there's a whole thing where Krillin runs away from second form Frieza. We're gonna turn that into a fight. And you're gonna fight second form Frieza as Krillin. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then it's like, Krillin couldn't stand up against Frieza, but it's like, but I beat Frieza. I just beat the shit out of him in this fight. You're saying that I didn't win? So it was funny, it didn't make sense all the time, but it was still telling this full story. No, we don't need Hale. Yeah, 54? One more for you. So they just kept expanding more and more and more and more and more. And I think in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is when they finally came out with the major, like, what if, I mean, they did Dragon Ball GT, they did Dragon Ball itself, and that's creepy. Then they did a whole what if chapter, like there was just a whole sideline, like another chapter of the story where it's like, hey, you're gonna play as these characters in what if storylines. What would happen if this happened? Like, what if it would happen? One of my favorite ones, if Devilman faced off and defended the world against oh, and there's 54 for Oka. Congrats, Okaruta, you're done before Fezzy Man is. You never even fought. Yeah. So, to have Devilman face off, save the world against a returning Frieza and King Cold, and he's just like, he takes the evil in people's hearts and explodes their hearts, and Devilman became one of my favorite characters. I completely forgot that he was a character in Dragon Ball because he was so minor in that show. He was just in the one little, like, tournament thing against that Baba had, and it's just like, oh my god, that's awesome. They turned Devilman into my favorite, my 5-man team included Devilman as like my ace, because he could just kick ass unexpectedly. Like, you wouldn't think he would, but I was so good at playing Devilman. Nobody could beat me when I had Devilman on my team. And they went and they removed him from the game. They removed him from they removed so many characters from the previous games, and they were just like, oh, who else could we add? I don't know, let's, like, because of the fact that I never watched Dragon Ball Super, I don't know who any of the characters from Super that they added. Like, I know who Hit is. I know who, Khalifa, Kefla, whichever the other one, the third, yeah, and Vegeta's little brother. I know all of them. I don't remember their names, all of them. Is it Torble? No. Whatever, their name, all of them are, like, I remember I know all of them and everything. I know, like, no, what is his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's the not, I can't say big bad, but he's the Justice. He's the big full fight in the Tournament of Power, or the Tournament of Power, where it's just like, what is that one called? What is his name? Oh my gosh. Jiren, that's it, Jiren. My god, I was drawing a blank on that. But yeah, like, I know all of those characters, but then they're just like, hey, we're gonna, like, add that wolf guy, and Ribrianne, and her 2 members from her universe, and also the rest of the Justice Squadron, and then that giant thing that's apparently a fusion of the members from another universe. I'm like, okay, I don't know any of these characters, and you're just gonna throw them their one form into the game? That just seems like lazy. You're not gonna actually put them fully in the game. You're just like, here's that one character, and it's just like, I was told that like even Ribrianne has like transformations. It's like, oh, okay. They didn't give her those. So they're just like, here, she's just gonna be this form of Ribrianne. I don't know if this is her first, and the one that's in the game, if it's her first form or her second form or final form or what. I don't know, because I didn't watch Super. But for them to just not include them in there is kind of frustrating. I mean, hell, they even included Bobbity in this one again. It's like they're definitely including characters, a massive amount of characters, but why do they skimp out on some of the other ones? It's like, if you're going to put out all these characters, then put out all these characters. Don't like half-ass and be like, well, maybe we'll get some of them, but not all of them. It's like, keep expanding it, do more. And I don't give a shit about the fact that there's DLC. Fuck you and your DLC. Get it from the get-go. Your DLC should be for characters that come out after the fact. Like the fact that, you know, Daima came out after the game's release. So Dragon Ball Daima characters should be in the DLC, because guess what? They couldn't figure out, they couldn't know, oh hey, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's gonna come back in Dragon Ball Daima. They wouldn't have known that before it aired, so they wouldn't be able to plan for that and put him in the game. He didn't exist. But it just frustrates me that they do that sort of stuff, you know? Oh, all the fan stuff. Phantom, Fants, Fanbat, Fants. But to have characters that are pre-existing be like, oh, we're gonna throw them in the DLC. Like, no, they should have been in the base game already. And I haven't played it since the DLCs dropped. I know that the first DLC was supposed to have the superhero characters, which I never even watched that movie. And because I even watched Super Broly at least, but I haven't watched Super at all, or Superhero. I know that it's got a new transformation for Gohan for some reason, as well as one for Piccolo for some reason. Alright, Fezzy Man, you're done. Embraer, where can we have you? Yes, we'll switch the items. Fezzy Man, take the XP share. So where can Embraer fight? We got Poison and Dragon, huh? We'll come back to the Dragon Ball talk. Poison and Dragon. Okay. So Poison fight. It's good against Grass and Fairy. Dragon is good against Dragon. Thanks, type chart. That's so helpful. So I guess we could maybe stay here and see? Let's find out. If we stayed here, that's Poison Bug. Huh. Not too bad. Let's do this though. No, don't want that. There you go, Poison Jab up top. Actually. Nope, wrong move. Sorry. Go back! Go back! There we go. Get our Poison Jab and our Dragon Pulse up front, and then we'll see how we do. Okay. Alright. We can do that. Not bad at all. Are we ready to get utterly destroyed, though? Because it's gonna happen. Fansec. So what was our plan again? I know I just recorded this a little while ago. But was it supposed to be... Oh, that's right. Because you have the special defense. So you're supposed to be tanking at the end of this. So we want to have him be at the back. So I'm gonna put you as the highest level, but I'm gonna put you at the back. So we're gonna put you up to 59. Okay, Embraer, you're gonna get to 59. You put me to sleep, you son of a bitch. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah, so we'll get you to 59, and then we'll move you out of the front slot so that somebody else can take over. Toxic, 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 toxic. And then when all of them have died, or not, I mean, hopefully what we would do is we toxic all 3, and they don't die. My goal is that whichever one of these guys I put in at the front, that's another question I've got, is who should be in the front? Probably Drizzwade should not be there to toxic. Alright. Let me double check something here. You got it pretty good. I think... Wow, Sheriff Woody's actually the fastest? Yeah, he is, okay. Okay, I think that we put out Sheriff Woody. Even though it's weak against 2 of the 3 heads, maybe we don't put out Sheriff Woody in the front, you know? Just thinking, maybe, you know, somebody else should go out front. Maybe we put out... Maybe we do put out, Darth Eclipsean like I thought. Put him out front. He's pretty fast. He can toxic. Hopefully win, like hopefully stay alive. Toxic again. Basically toxic all 3. If he dies, then we were able to switch out to somebody else who can then toxic. Once all 3 heads have been toxicked, we kind of either stay in until that one dies, that one being us, or we switch out before they die into... Oh man, see, the problem is here that whoever we switch into is basically gonna have to take all 3 hits, because they get 3 attacks per turn. So they have to tank 3 hits, so I don't think we can do the switching strat. I think we have to put somebody out, sacrifice, they die. Okay, now let's move on to the next person. Belch? Let's out a damaging belch at the target. The user must eat a held berry to use this move. That is dumb. That is a dumb move that exists for some reason. And you're an attacker. You're an attacker? Physical? Yeah. Okay. So then once we get all 3 of them toxic, whichever Pokemon is out kind of has to stay in until either we win or they die. And then if they die, then we switch in to Drizzt, because he can start dealing with the fact that they're flying types. He can do some damage with all 3 of them on that. And then if he fails, then we put Embraer out at the end, who can hopefully just outlast them. Right? That's the goal. I don't know how well that's gonna work, but that's the plan. So back to the Dragon Ball conversation and everything. It frustrates me to no end that they do that, where they're just like, we're gonna put out DLC with these characters that already exist and we already know about. We could have put them out at release, but we want more money. Greedy bastards want more money. And the fact that instead of, you know, because then again, I haven't watched Super. Doesn't the anime, because I know that there's the manga, and the manga goes further, but hasn't the anime ended at the Tournament of Power? Wasn't that the last of it? So what you're telling me is that instead of them deciding to go Battle of Gods Resurrection F, and then Tournament of Destruction for this this game, and then planning on maybe adding in you know, the oh my gosh, adding in the Goku Black and Tournament of Power arcs after the fact in the next game, because that's what they should be doing, is planning for the next game. If they're gonna come back with more Budokai games like that, then they should come back with more Budokai games, not like oh, we're gonna create this game and this is gonna be the last game in the franchise, and we're just gonna keep on updating this game with more stuff and you have to download more. No. It's its own thing. Let it be its own thing, where it has an endpoint, and you create the next one to expand on it, like to tell more, be a bigger, more inclusive game. And give me back my damn Devilman. Devilman beam ends everything. The Devilmite beam? Oh, the Devilman is the best in the world, you know? He can't be beat. Sorry, hold on. Only fools challenge the great and terrible Devilman. Like one-shot enemies with that damn Devilmite beam. I love Devilman. It's called Bad End. Yes, I remember all of that. You'd be like 2 Frieza soldiers, and then you have to defeat Frieza himself, and then King Cold comes out, and it's just like, impossible, my son, Frieza! I'm surprising even myself with my power! Ha! Yes. You said your name's Devilman? Yeah, it's so good. They just replace the Trunks returning thing to being Devilman. I need no weapons for this technique. I find the darkness in people's soul and people's hearts and make them explode. The Devilmite beam. Yes, it's so good. See, it amplifies an evil heart, causing it to explode. Then your son stood no chance whatsoever. And same with King Cold himself. It's so good. So yeah, I miss my Devilman, but on top of that, they really should just have the characters' first forms and multiple forms if they're going to introduce them. They've downgraded it since the last one, where they removed Garlic Jr.'s small form. You just have the fully powered Garlic Jr., which is alright, I guess. Garlic Jr. Mini was never really that fun to play as, but still, you should have him if you're gonna have Garlic Jr. as a playable character. I just want them to keep on, I've always wanted them to keep on expanding the Budokai Tenkaichi games. So I always was like, yes, let's get all of the most obscure characters. You're gonna have Dr. Wheelo and everything. Why don't you have his odd creation things from that movie? Or the fact that, you know, you're gonna have Garlic Jr., so why don't you have the spice points? I know that they're terrible, but at least you should have them in there. Come on. They're iconic characters. Oh man. And then, like, Turles and his crew. I mean, they put in salsa in the last one. Like, they're like, hey, here's Cooler and also salsa. And it's like, Okay. Why is Salsa... Wait, I forget. Did they actually put in all of Cooler's Elite Squadron, or was it just Salsa? I don't remember. It's been a long time. But, you know, they have so many characters. They want to tout it being the most characters ever in a Dragon Ball game. Then actually do it. Bring out the most obscure fucking characters. You got Android 8. Why don't you... I mean, they got General Blue. Why don't they get, you know, General Black and... I mean, yeah. And, I mean, they got rid of Pilaf and this... I mean, that one, yet again, was not a big... I don't think I saw anybody, you know, like, maining Pilaf on tournament scenes, but, you know, there's probably somebody out there who would. Somebody who was good at playing Pilaf and could destroy everybody else. Why not? I was good at Devilman. No one could beat me with my Devilmite beam. So why not go with the most obscure Dragon Ball characters out there? Give me Farmer with a shotgun as a playable character, damn it. Oh man. It's always what I've wanted to play as, is Farmer with a shotgun. With a power level of what, 1? Ooh, Outrage. Outrage has 120 power, 100% accuracy, rampages, and attacks for 2 to 3 turns, and then becomes confused. Let's get that over Dragon Pulse. Yes. Because why not? Make him a destructive tank.